Good evening, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. Today, as you can see, we're out late at night. Well, I say late at night, about 8 o'clock after work. We're cooking up some grub with the Biolite stove and pot set. As you saw earlier, I set up the grill, but I decided rather than using the pans in the back of the van, I thought I'd give it a go in the kettle. So this is obviously the Biolite kettle, but look at the size of it, it is massive. So I thought I'd give it a go, try and cook a one pot meal in the Biolite kettle. So I've just, as you saw, put onions in. I'm mixing in some beef mince now. I'm going to add in some peppers and then some chopped tomatoes and whack it on the stove and cook it and see how it goes. I'm just waiting for the wood to burn down a bit now. I'm going to put a bit more kindling in there to create some coals and then turn the fan down and let the food cook on its own, hopefully in the next 15-20 minutes, because I'm absolutely starving. So I've got a light charge in the van at the moment because I forgot to charge them yesterday, so I've got these cool fire maple candles going at the moment, just trying to light up the place a little bit more. But once I got my other light charged, it'll be instead of this white light, we'll have a nice warm yellow light to keep the campfire vibe going. So I'm going to crack on, cut the rest of the stuff, put it in here, and put it on the fire. Right, now that I've got everything in this pan, I'm going to tone the fan down a bit. What's that on now? Put it on about 2, just to keep the embers glowing. Whack that on. Remember to stir it every now and then so we don't burn the bottom. Hopefully we'll cook through the whole proper scran. So I'm going to tidy up the mess now I've made with the food. Let this cook, make sure to clean it. Once it's cooked off a bit, I'll whack in the kidney beans, whack in the tomato puree, and then hopefully we'll have some sort of chilli thing going on. So, as I say, I'm going to tidy up and then start relaxing for a bit. I'm just trying to mash it up as much as I can so I can get the meat all loose so that it's easy to mix and it'll cook a bit better. There's not much meat there. The thing's about half full, so it should cook nicely. As long as I remember to keep on mashing it and turning it about, it should be fine. Every time the embers die down just like that, what I've got is, as you saw earlier, pre-cut the kindling to size so that you can just whack them in like so. And then what's best to do is, once you put a bit of wood in, ramp the air up so that obviously the fire can have more oxygen, which will activate a bit more heat. I'll sit down and I'll tell you a bit more about the stove. Can't tell you how nice this smells. It smells so good. Just simple ingredients, quick and easy. Cut and throw them into the box, into the jug. Literally, you put the wood in the fire, get the fire going. By the time the fire is nice and roaring, because of the fan, you can get it really hot. Whack your pan on or whatever. I'm using the kettle, and then boom, get cooking. There we go, it's a bit better lit up now. I've got the magnetic light bar on there in a nice orange tint. As you can see now, lit up camp way better. But that's the chili now. Keep on mixing it, make sure it sticks to the bottom. But pretty much nearly done. And literally that only took 15-20 minutes between prep, getting all the stove out and all that jazz. But it'll help soften the veg a bit now. We don't want the veg too soft. It's nice to have a bit of crunch in there. I've set the fan down to 1 bar. I don't know if you can see through the gaps there. It's just keeping the flame nice and small, not bursting out the sides, causing everything to burn. So you can control the flame quite well. To say it's just an open fire, it's not far from using a gas hob, to be honest. Once you get used to it, it's just like using induction and then gas. You know, you get used to one. But this is quite straightforward. Right, so whilst this is now just simmering along here, I'll show you guys the Biolite stove. So, grill, sorry. So as you can see, it's quite big. From hand there. You can fit good two steaks there, or kebabs. That's what I find this cooks best if you have, you know, skewers. So you can lay your skewers on, you can twist them and turn them really easily. The last time I did use this was actually for sausages and things, because the grill is nice and, you know, even the notches there. You can cook your sausages, bacon and thin things like that. I do find that they do fall a little bit into the grill a bit too much. But obviously, you take your metal mesh off and then you come to this mesh here. What this does is stops big chunks falling into the fire, and you can take that off, and then you've got literally just this big metal plate here which you can give a quick wipe to once you're done with your cooking. It's not hard to clean whatsoever. Yeah, and I think this is about 30 quid. So the grill itself is not too expensive, but the machine is about £150, which is obviously quite expensive. But as you can see with how it's performing today, I think it's 100% worth the money. Instead of getting the big solo stove out and a Dutch oven and just getting a little fire pit like this out, takes 2 minutes to heat up, 2 minutes to cool down. You can pack it away in no time whatsoever, and you get the experience of making a fire, cooking on raw fire. It's great, and just for a matter of minutes to put it up, minutes to put it down, definitely worth the money. Put this grill back. When the grill's in place, you can feed the fire by just lifting this flap here, so you don't have to hold the thing and move it out of the way just to top up your wood. Now, talking about wood, I've used probably only a handful of pieces of kindling, which is another massive bonus, especially if you're in a micro camper like me, is carrying wood and material to burn. I've obviously got plenty of room for a shove this down. Plenty of room for a little bag of kindling. Even if you just bring a little bit and you put it in your roof box or whatever, it's plenty to cook a meal for easily 2-3 people here, easily. The jug, really, the kettle isn't really specifically for boiling water, I don't think, because obviously that's why today I'm trying the technique of cooking with it, which I've never done before, and it seems to be going quite well, to be fair. So just keep on mixing it, don't want it to burn. The only difference is obviously, as it's steel, it's not non-stick, so you've got to keep on mixing, and also keep on mixing because you don't want it to burn in the bottom. Obviously, as it's a naked flame, it's not as controllable as your gas, but near enough. Now, moving on to the kettle itself, actually, you can get a coffee press for it, so you can make I think it's about a litre of coffee if you wanted to, or you can boil a litre of water, and it does boil water very efficiently. Rather than, getting your stove off, you've already got this, you can boil a litre of water. You know, your jet boil, you can only boil about 400 ml of water. But if you've got a few of you, boil a litre of water, only using wood, and it's great. It apparently is smokeless, but obviously it's only smokeless if you've got the fan on maximum, which gives you more oxygen, which is obviously burning cleaner. But I've killed the fire a little bit, I've let it go a little bit too low, so it is a bit smoky, but I've got the fan on maximum, and it is giving it a bit of oxygen, and the flame will start again soon, and there's still quite a bit of heat coming out of there, so there'll be plenty to help this evaporate. Once I've finished the cooking, I'll show you the exciting part about this stove, the selling point of the stove actually, what sets it apart from other stoves. So let this simmer, and I'll serve it up, and then I'll talk to you about the exciting part of this stove. Starting to bubble now, so a lot of the water is obviously coming to the top and evaporating, so you can have a bit of a thicker sauce. But the water does help soften the vegetables a little bit, rather than being a bit crunchy. But there's not much time left on this now. I reckon it'll be nearly ready to eat soon. It smells great. It's on setting A1. Flames are flaming a bit, but that's not a problem. Keep on mixing and it'll stop from burning, and obviously help blend all the flavours. Happy days. There we go, that's the chilli all done. Absolutely load of it. A litre of chilli cooked in half an hour with the Biolite kettle and the Biolite stove. But whilst the chilli's cooling down a bit, I don't want to burn my mouth, I will show you the effects of the using a powered fan on the fire. So what I'll do, just to make it a bit easier, is I will plonk the fire on the stove, on the table, like so. As you can see, it's not hot underneath. So at the moment the fan is set to 1. The heat calculated by the little probe there is about 65%, and the battery power that it's creating is about half. So when that gets to full, it means the battery inside of this is full. But what I'll do now, I'll whack the fan onto maximum, and as you can see, the intensity of the fire increases. That's because the fan is pulling in air through these grills here, throwing it around the combustion chamber here, and then out through all them holes in there. So it's feeding it so much oxygen, it literally heats up in no time. As you can see, as the intensity of the air increases, the heat increases obviously, and also the battery will charge quicker. If you move this flap, there is a USB port there, you can charge your phone. There's also comes with a USB light that goes in there that can light up your cooking area. The fan gets charged via the heat, so it's not very often you have to charge it unless you're using it as a power bank. You can disconnect this, obviously let the probe cool down first, and you can use this as a power bank. So if you run out of juice, pull this out of the van or whatever and you can charge your phone, no problem. So obviously I've got this in my hand now. If you hold it via the battery pack here, you can move it around carefully. I would suggest leaving the fan on maximum to burn the wood quicker, which will then allow you to pack away by the time you finished your food. This is how efficient this Biolite stove is. You can prep, cook, clean and keep everything away in probably half an hour. The solar stove, a fire pit, is great, but it can take a bit longer to accomplish the same type of results. So I've just scalded my mouth pretty bad, so I'm going to have to let it cool down for a bit longer. Whilst I do that, I'm going to get the fire roaring again, keep warm. As you can see, it's on maximum. I plonked 2 pieces of kindling in there and just throwing out some heat. Obviously, on maximum fan, it does make a little bit of noise. If you turn it down to setting 1, it's actually not too bad. And as you can see here, I've got a massive bag of kindling, which would last at least, well, say I've used about 10 pieces of kindling maybe, and there's 100 in there, so there's plenty of juice left. That is awesome. That's awesome. They do make a bigger one which can take logs. I actually myself don't have one of them, but it would be nice to have one. But I did purchase a solo stove instead, and that's a piece of kit. Maybe I will make a video on that when I get to use it in the future. But for now, I'm just going to keep the camera, relax, enjoy the nice, can you see it, candlelit vibe thing that I've going on here with some chili and a scalded mouth. Oh, it bloody hurts. Anyway, at least I know it's hot. I'm not going to get food poisoning. Right, catch you a bit. Nice. When I turned the van off earlier, it was 0 degrees out here. I have a thermometer, but I think I've left it at home. But 0 degrees, as you can see, the steam coming off the food, the steam coming off my breath. Having a nice big steel bowl like this to just hold a nice warm meal is just great. Better than a pot noodle or the soup that I had yesterday. It's just also, obviously, as it's so cold, you've got fire, so you can cook. You've got fire for warmth. You've got electric if you want to charge your phone right by your feet there. What a great piece of kit. Game changer. Oh, right. That's me all done. Pretty much eating all the chili. There's definitely enough there to serve 3, if not 4 people, especially if you get some rice as well. Obviously, tonight's been a very, very cold night. Everything's steaming. I can't wait to get in bed. I'm just going to let the fire burn out now, obviously, so I can keep the Biolite. I'd say it'll be burnt out nicely in the next 10 minutes. I've got the fan on maximum just to give it more air to burn it out quicker. There's so much condensation on this roof because the obviously heat from the fire is raised and it's heat hitting the cold air on the other side. It's causing condensation, so I'll give that a wipe. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you gained some useful information from this video about the Biolite. If you'd like to purchase one, I got this one from Go Outdoors, but you can get them online. Obviously, you can get everything online these days. So, once again, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.